Hey, folks. Welcome to another episode of Couch to Trails, I guess. Although this time we have different set of characters. So I'd like to welcome Julie to my channel and to a running journey. You recently started running and asked me to help you a little bit, and I'm very happy to do so. Would you be happy to introduce yourself a little bit?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. So, yeah, I'm Julie. I suppose I got in touch with Juhani, I think it was the week before last. Another colleague of ours was going to start his running journey being coached by Juhani. And this has been something that I've been thinking about doing for too long and not doing, So I started, I suppose, as a woman in her I've started kind of educating myself on, I suppose, what's required to keep you fit, healthy, and for longevity reasons, going into middle age. And I've started listening to lots of podcasts, reading some books. I started with strength training, resistance training about 2 years ago, to be 2 years ago now in August. And yeah, I joined a gym, got a personal trainer, and have been kind of doing that. I've kind of moved on to, just working it out myself and moved away from the personal training. I didn't find it great. I suppose I don't have a lot of options available to me where I live and that kind of thing. So yeah, just looking into this and reading more about it and learning more, nutrition, exercise and how important it is, especially for women in their 40s. And I suppose the rate at which we lose muscle mass as well, in particular, from the age of 30, but, especially, going into your 50s and the importance of maintaining, if not, building that as well. So in educating myself, I suppose, and listening to experts and podcasts and things like that, um, I've heard, lots about getting into zone 2 fitness and the benefits of that for, for your brain health as well as your physical health and how it helps you long-term aging and prevention of dementia and Alzheimer's and all those kinds of things as well. So yeah, it's been something I've wanted to add. I kind of, keep active in that. I walk a lot. I think, I kind of average around 12,000 steps and try and hit that every day or average around it. And strength training 3 times a week. So adding in running has been something I've wanted to do and haven't done and just didn't know how, didn't know where to start, didn't know if I'd be able to do it. Was worried about would it impact my joints? Would I have injuries? Would that affect my training in the gym? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah.
It sounds good. You have the exact same worries that everybody has, especially if you start a little bit later in life. I had the same things.
Yeah.
It's unfortunately a lot of the stuff that we hear about running is a myth, that it will destroy your knees, it will destroy your joints. Yeah, it's possible to get injured, but you can get injured by going to a supermarket. And, it's our bodies use it or lose it. It's not like a motor or a machine that it wears down. Use doesn't wear our body down. It's exactly opposite. When you use it, it gets stronger. And I think that's what people should understand when they not fit, I'm old, I have never run running. That's fine. You don't need to become a ultra marathon runner today, week one or whatever. You just start from slowly. And I think what we talked a little bit last time, it's important to start from the zone 2, and it's important to start from the slow running. The other mistake that a lot of beginners do, they just smash it in the first run and then they're tired and then they can't run again. And people who tend to say that they hate running, they just run too fast. If you run so fast that you taste blood, that basically means that, how can you like something like that? You have to be a little strange person to like pain all the time. So yeah, I think that's it. And with you it's a great opportunity, firstly, because you are very good at strength training already. You have very good foundation there. You understand how your body works on the strength training side. And strength training is the exact counter to injuries. You have strong legs, strong leg muscles. Your joints and ligaments might need some adaptation to running, but your strong muscles are already supporting your joints from getting into you have good balance, you have good strength, your muscles are keeping your legs straight or your knees
Yeah.
straight, and that's the way to go. And if you keep your strength training going on, I don't think you're gonna get injured. We're just gonna take it very, very slowly, very easy.
Yeah. Good.
And that's basically it. And walking is a good place to start. Your aerobic engine is already in a good place. It might even be that you are too fit and you would be able to run too much already, and that can cause an injury. So it might need to hold you back a little bit. But
Okay.
I think I think we're good.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
went and bought a pair of shoes, right?
I did. Ugly shoes, Juhani.
Yeah. Well, they look fine to me.
I was looking for the pretty white ones with pink kind of, but no. So I bought, so yeah, I went shopping at the weekend looking for, on your recommendation, trail shoes, because my plan is to run. So I live practically in the woods, and my plan is to do my running there. I like walking around it. It's quiet. There's no traffic, there's no cars, very few people. So that's my plan short term. We'll see, where it expands to, but I need to keep it short term for now. So I needed that, grip, I guess, because obviously there's leaves, there's mud, there's stones. So yeah, on your recommendation, I went looking for trail shoes. Never knew such thing even existed before speaking to you last week. So I went to John Buckley's in Cork, which is quite famous actually for, to all kinds of athletes looking for different kinds of shoes, I guess. So yeah, there wasn't too many options when I got there. There was two brands. Now I can't for the life of me remember the other brand, but New Balance was one option, which is quite a popular brand, and they're quite a fashionable shoe as well. I do have a few pairs that I would wear in everyday life anyway, but the trail shoes are a different ball game altogether.
Right.
But I did try on the other pair. They begin with M. It's gone from my brain now, the name of them. But I found them really rigid and really like shoe-like, and I just didn't find it. And I found they were kind of digging in around my ankles, and I was like, no, I'm not going to start because I'll start with blisters if I do this. And I just thought, right, so the New Balances, put them on. Now they're quite thick-soled and they're spongy, but they had great grip on the bottom, because I do have I don't want to fall. I don't want to trip and fall over, because that would be a disaster.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, tried them on, got on your recommendation again, got a bigger size. And so brought them home. Now they're not cheap. Trainers in general, runners, we call them here, aren't cheap. No. So they had to be okay leaving the shop because, anyway. And so I went for a long walk that night in them, and they were just perfectly comfortable. I had no issues breaking them in or anything like that. So yeah, they got their first running outing yesterday. Oh yeah, that was an adventure.
Good.
Yeah.
So those who haven't caught the accent, you're in Ireland, right?
Yes, yeah, in the south of Ireland, Cork.
So Ireland is full of trails and amazing places to run. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
That's a good place.
Yeah. Looking forward to exploring them.
So we kind of created a little bit of a plan last week. My approach to this is not to create strict plans. I have feeling that most people like us who actually have lives outside the training, if you make a strict plan, the only thing the plan does makes you feel guilty when you fail to follow it, and then that's, in my opinion, isn't a very good thing to do. So what we've done, let me share my screen. So what we've done, we basically set a simple goal of 2 half-an-hour sessions per week for now, and we go forward with run walk. The guide is to run until you feel like huffing and puffing. Zone 2, like very well, is when you can speak full sentences, and then walk until you catch your breath, and then again. The feeling after the half-an-hour session should be that you can do it again if you had to. So you shouldn't be dead after the 30 minutes. So if that's a problem, then do it slower. And we also shouldn't do more than 30-minute running sessions in general. So I wouldn't advise bundling the 2 sessions into one day. Of course, walking, you have to keep a little bit stay mindful about you walk a lot, and it has got a little bit similar impact. So need to listen to your body and feel when it's right. And second thing to do is to not to do the 2 running sessions a week back to back. So keep a rest day always after the running session. Later on, when you approaching your goal race, which we might talk about as well, you might do a couple of back sessions, but that's once your body is starting to be like prepared for running. In general, it's good to understand that joints and ligaments and all of this kind of part of our body takes up to 8 months to adapt. And they adapt by forcing them to adapt. So they don't, basically you have to ramp up your training a little bit, and they start adapting immediately, but your muscles adapt very quickly, but the rest of your body takes months. So that's where the injury might come from. Your aerobic system, especially you, because you're in good shape, you would be in 3 weeks or 2 months, you will be able to run long sessions, but you shouldn't, because the parts of your body haven't adapted yet. So we're going to hold you back a little bit. So we might not go all the way your capabilities at that point. So that's why basically what we do here is we increase 10% weekly load maximum and 10% the longest distance. So both of those we keep in 10%, the total and the longest one. So there's a good new research about increasing the longest run, even if you keep the weekly volume lower, comes with a very high injury risk. That's the plan.
So like I've tried to set really manageable, and it has to be, otherwise, like you said, it would kind of put me off from the beginning before I start, because it's just too much to do, kind of in there, and it sometimes that can feel unattainable then, I guess. But yeah, so my plan is to incorporate it into my work, just to do like the 30 minutes. So like yesterday was Sunday, maybe again on Thursday or something, and see. But like you said, because I had me, I guess, last week on this, I want to push myself, or run a little bit longer, or run a bit faster, or because you feel fine when you're doing it, don't you? I mean, running up a slight incline, which was definitely more challenging, you feel okay, and you would tend to kind of just set yourself back. But yeah, that's interesting.
This is so if you feel like at some point you want to push a bit harder, it's okay to do, especially uphill. Uphill running is a good way to... Runners use uphills as strength training, because when you go uphill, the impact to your body is much, much less, because you don't bounce so high, simply. And it's much harder to your muscles. If you have this feeling, I want to do a little bit harder, find maybe 5 to 10% incline and just push there a little bit. Be very careful on downhills, because that's the exact opposite impact. When you go downhill, you bounce even harder. So maybe even just walk downhills if you feel any pain anywhere. It's very, it's very counterproductive to get injured, and then you don't do at all. But I know, because you do a lot of sport and you have this, especially you've done strength training a lot, you might have this feeling, I want to push a little bit, get something out of it as well. Safest place to do uphill. And you can just do one hill hard and be out of breath. That's completely fine. But don't do it on a flat or downhill. And then we're going to be fine. It's up to you how you feel. Doing that. So you chose a target race as well, right? We have a target for October.
Counted 105 days. So in 105 days, I'm going to sign up a run in Cork. There's a woods in Rochestown. The Irish Mountain Running Association, the IMRA in it, are holding it. So that's my target. And I'm planning on bringing, whoever else to do it. Yeah. So that's 6.5K. I don't understand the incline, but you about that.
There was about 200 meters elevation. For
that scares
that distance,
me, honestly.
it does mean there's quite a bit like climbing. Trail running in general, we usually walk uphills, especially at ultra distance. Nobody runs uphill. Well, elites do, but generally uphills, especially steep uphills, are usually walked, just because it's you're just dead after hard uphill. that distance is going to be a little bit up to you, and we can look at the elevation chart, because if we can get the GPX file, which I
that
think
would
we
be
can,
good.
we can look a little bit, okay, if there's like one massive climb and rest of the flat, or is it just 200 meters in 6 kilometers isn't huge amount. It's noticeable for sure. When I look at trail running races, the exchange rate I usually do is if there's 1 kilometer elevation, it feels like adding 10 kilometers to the run. So the 200 meters almost adds 2 kilometers to it. So you're kind of running 8 to 9 kilometers basically.
Okay, wow.
So can keep that in mind. That's kind of the effort level, probably how you're going to feel. And I think you're going to be fine. We're just going to do some goals in between. I think we aim for a park run somewhere in, let's say, 3 months.
Okay.
That would be a good way to do, because park runs are always relaxed and chill. You can walk part of it, and there's no pressure. But that can give you a little bit like a base, where I am. And for this event, if you walk part, that's going to be perfectly fine. It's they look like very friendly, and the people running it seem to be very friendly people. So it's going to be, it's not going to be hardcore competition. You don't need to win.
Okay.
Although I know you're quite competitive person, so maybe you want to win. So that's I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I'm so new to it. I honestly can't even picture myself running for that amount of time right now. Day 2 of the, but I'm excited as well.
It's doable. That's a good goal.
Yeah.
But we're gonna split it a little bit, like not have just one big goal, just have a couple of checkpoints in between. But it's fully doable with you. I kind of There's not gonna be any problem. You're gonna run the next second loop.
So yeah.
I think that's it. I would like to check up with you, maybe in a podcast form as well in a couple of weeks, how you get along. Basically, what I'm very interested in hearing next 2-3 weeks is how you get your routine going. Everybody has a different way to do it. What I did in the beginning, I set quite strict routines for myself. I said, okay, it's always this day. I go 10 o'clock in the evening. I go, but I don't want to advise you there. You know better how it works with you, and everybody's different. One thing that you might want to look at, or a couple of things that you want to look at the equipment side, is a raincoat, because Ireland. Running raincoat is quite a big investment, so maybe we hold off for a while. But the important thing to understand,
that'll probably be needed now.
That's the thing. Is it's it's all about removing friction, and if it's raining, if you have good gear, I love running in the rain. It's awesome. It doesn't bother me at all. But having a raincoat that the important thing is not to buy these plasticky raincoats that don't breathe, because then you're just sweaty inside and it gets very uncomfortable. You can't do that. There's a running specific rain gear that is a little bit breathable material. Unfortunately, they probably cost like 200 euros ish, maybe more. Of course, it's usable for other purposes as well. It's not just for running. But when you invest, this is one of those things that I would invest a bit more, because if you get the cheapest one, you just don't like it, and then what's the point? It's better to like it and go. And other thing is running gloves, and you can get those for 15 euros. So what I have is this very thin pair of, I think of them Salomon. Just because when your fingers are comfortable, you're comfortable. So I run quite often in t-shirt and shorts and gloves, which looks idiotic, but that makes me get out the door because I'm comfortable.
Yeah, bothers really cold ears. I don't know. I mean, I think it's an actual thing, right, for some people. But like even now at this time of the year, it's technically summer here in Ireland. It was like 18 degrees yesterday, and I get pain.
Right.
So like I normally walk with these, which is great. Or so I must get a running like headband, I think.
Yeah, there's plenty of those. I haven't used them.
Gloves.
I don't need one, but find some.
Just to cover my.
Because if you're comfortable, then you go, right?
Yeah, that kind of these. So yesterday was my first run. So like I had no water. I'm a mouth breather, not a nose breather. Mouth got really dry, right? That's so I had to run home again to get water, so it was okay. But I wasn't too far away. But just
so I wasn't
prepared. Yeah.
There's a good solution for that as well. Again,
Okay.
I don't want you to go and buy a lot of stuff. That's not
Oh,
my
yeah,
intention
yeah.
for this. I just want to
Mm.
tell you what's available if you want to think
Yeah.
about it. In
Okay.
general, up to 1 hour, you shouldn't have to carry water. You will get used to it.
Okay.
A dry mouth
Yeah.
is actually fine. There's no physical problem. In one hour, you don't, dehydrate. Unless it's
Yeah.
hot.
Okay.
Like if it's 35°C, that's completely different. In a
Okay. Okay.
normal environment, it's fine. If you're
Yeah.
uncomfortable, you can carry water with you. And there's the easy thing is to have Salomon and other brands have these 125 milliliter soft flasks. They're about this
Okay.
size and they're soft.
Yeah.
You can either put it in your pocket, and if you don't
Mm.
have a pocket, there's something called running belt. And they are meant for running, and it's a belt that is relatively tight. It doesn't squeeze, but it's tight enough that it doesn't bounce around, and it's like
Okay.
this elastic like a material. Again, multiple brands are available. In the UK, there's a brand. I think it might be an American brand, but it's called Naked Belt, and
Okay.
what it does, it kind of adds pockets to you. So it has this kind of soft, flexible pocket, and you can put your water there. So then you have to carry it in your hands, and this is a solution
Car
to
keys
things.
or house keys
Car
or
keys as
things like
well, and
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And these are all
they
the
meant
little things
exactly.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they meant for, they don't bounce around. They're very comfortable. For longer distances, what I use in the mountains, I have a running vest, which has water bottles and back and everything like that. And you can carry your, first aid kits and rain jackets and everything. And it's meant for running as well. But you don't need that at this point. It's no point investing. Is running belts you can get quite cheap. One thing I would say, go to a store, because you might want to try, because it needs to be tight, but it can't squeeze. And it's quite difficult to, I know they all have like measurements you can measure, but
Yeah, you have to try
you can
these
order and
things
send
out.
it back or whatever, but if it's available
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And then the last thing, that it depends when you are going for a run. What was life-changing for me was a headlamp. There's plenty of running headlamps that don't have to cost more than 25 euros. I have one because I go to the mountains, but I have this kind of thing. And this is a bit more expensive. But the idea for this one is that the lamp is here and the battery is here, so that it's balanced when it's in my bag.
That will
And
keep
this
my
one,
ears warm too, actually.
and this one has a backlight as well. So
Okay.
so it shows
The
when
kind
so somebody
of
sees
thing, yeah.
from behind, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't take, so if there's multiple options and these are not super expensive. This is expensive, but they don't have to be expensive. What I would look at is rechargeable, so it has to change batteries, and something that's relatively light. And they have to have quite a wide band. If it's a thin band, then it has to have these multiple straps, which is okay, but it needs to stay on your head. So there's headlights that are meant just for hiking, and they might not be good because the weight makes it bounce. But this is again, it eliminates dark. I don't know how comfortable you're going in the dark near you, but when I was just running in dark, and it's quite nice.
It can be dark anyway, because, especially in summer with canopies and things like that. And sometimes if the weather is bad, but I think for what I find even when I'm walking around, if it is getting, obviously the evenings are going to be getting shorter now, is kind of safety and your footing to be able to see the ground, leaves branches as well as, it's important. So but I will have to run in and things like that. Yeah.
So there's these options, but again, just go cheap first, and then once you know what you want to do, if you want to become a mountain runner, then you want to invest a bit more, but then you actually know what you need from it, and you have a kind of focus on. For now, 25 euros from Amazon or somewhere else. It's perfectly fine as long as it's rechargeable. But those are the kind of things that I keep saying. People buy stuff that eliminates friction, remove rain, remove cold, remove darkness, and then you have much more options to go for.
Phones and podcasts.
Yeah, that's it.
Anyway, so
when you want to, I have a long recommendation of running books to listen while running, because I did that. There's quite a bunch of good ones, but maybe not yet.
Yeah.
Cool.
when I'm running for a long time, when I have enough to do them,
But it's a super strong start. It's really good. The first one is the hardest. You already done that. Looking forward to see how it goes. Next summer we're gonna go run in the Alps as team meeting.
No.
Fantastic. Thanks,
we'll give
Julie.
it a
Let's
go.
talk again then in a couple of weeks at least.
Okay.
Ciao, folks.